For the first time all year, the Utah Jazz lose a fourth quarter lead. Was it Donovan Mitchell that did them in Cleveland? No, it was Utah legend Sam Merrill. It's Postcast next.
You are Locked On Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It's David Locke along with Ron Boone as the Utah Jazz fall tonight to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were without Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, as well as Evan Mobley. They were without 50 shots in their regular offense, and it was an opportunity for others to step up, and the man who stepped up more than anyone else was Bountiful Brave, Utah State Aggie, Sam Merrill, career-high 27 for him tonight, coming off a career-high 18 in the win against Houston the other night. The Jazz led this game 93-92 heading into the fourth, but they couldn't buy a bucket in the fourth, going one of their first 9. The Cavaliers couldn't miss a 3.
Well, the first 3 buckets they made were 3-point shots, and that was a separator right there going into the fourth quarter. And, the Jazz all season long have not been one of those teams that can play from behind a lot of times.
First question that comes in is legit. Let's just get right to it. Are the big 3-point shooting scorers on the Jazz because the Jazz zone or just hot shooting, Ron? That's what people want to know.
I think it was hot shooting, but the zone had a lot to do with that. I mean, the ball is the fastest thing out there on the floor. And if you have good ball movement, you got good shooters, you're going to get good looks. They were able to get up 51 3-point shots tonight, and it wasn't a lot of those shots were not contested. They were open shots. So the zone had a lot to do with it.
That's the number that kind of jumps off the page. Yeah. 51 threes tonight taken. Like at some point, you just probably in this league, the way people are shooting, don't want to be giving up 51 threes. 40 of those were above the break threes tonight. Yeah. So there is some thought that like you're all right giving away above the break threes. They hit 19 of 40 above the break threes tonight.
Yeah, that is a shot that with ball movement you're going to get with a zone. And it's the Jazz 1-2-2 zone, and a lot of times, and you could see that Jared Allen was getting the ball there in the middle of the floor. 1-3-1. I didn't see that, but we did see a lot of the box and one.
So the above the break 3 average in the league is about 34-35%. They hit 50. Sacramento did it the other night. Are these better looks than people are usually getting on above the break threes?
That's hard to say. I think the looks that they got tonight were looks that, boy, and you're talking about some very good shooters in Spruce. You're talking about one with Merrill. We all know that George Niang can knock down threes there as well. The uncontested looks is usually what you get when the ball is moving and you're playing a zone. And that's one of the reasons that a lot of coaches are afraid of it. But, teams like Miami, they're not, and they win basketball games.
Jazz did a good job defending the rim, which they've continued to do throughout this zone. The Cavaliers shot just 50% at the rim tonight, 15 of 30. So that's what you're trying. You can't take away everything anymore in this league. The players are too good. The offenses are too good. The floor's spread too far. And so you're able to take that. You take one thing away. They took away the rim really well tonight, 15 to 30. They just give up. Then you're giving up something else. And that's what got them tonight. For the Jazz standpoint, the offense was actually fine till the fourth quarter. The offense was actually really, really good. It came into the fourth quarter with a 127 offensive rating, and then it fell by the wayside. Let's go with the good stuff for a second. They do go 1 of 9 to open the fourth quarter, which is obviously a problem. But what did they do so well in offensively tonight? What were the things that allowed them to stay in this game and have success despite the Cavaliers not shooting?
Well, first of all, they were breaking the defense down. And Jazz got off to a very slow start. I mean, the third quarter was their best quarter with outscoring them 37 to 30, and that's when they took the lead. But and they were able to knock down some threes in that third quarter. I think Vincecchio was able to get a couple, but it was basically, just ball movement, early offense, lots of twos. I'm looking at here, lots of twos in that third quarter, but they was still able to take the lead.
Fourth quarter, the Jazz 5 of 14 shooting overall, 0 of 6 from 3. Lowry was 2 of 7. Taylor got it going a little bit at 11 points in that fourth quarter. This, Will Hardy said, guys get paid for fourth quarters and road games.
Yes. Fourth quarters, road games, and guys that can, finish basketball games. And that didn't happen in the fourth quarter. So why didn't that happen? I mean, they were getting some penetration. They were breaking the defense down. They were getting exactly what they wanted in that second quarter. But again, those 3-point field goals, those three-point buckets that were made there by Merrill got the Cavaliers going in that fourth quarter, and Jazz just could not recover.
Jazz turnover issues 16 tonight, but kind of universally across the board. Chris Dunn led the way with 4. Kelly Olynyk had 3. It wasn't a major problem this game. In fact, 23 assists on 40 field goals was pretty good. Taylor had 10 assists tonight. Jazz. The one thing that was really unique to the Jazz tonight, no offensive rebounding. They only had 6 offensive rebounds in this entire game. That has been the signature of this team all year long, is their offensive rebounding. And they're playing smaller than usual without Evan Mobley.
Yeah, that was noticeable there as well. And also in that fourth quarter, obviously you can't get a lot of assists if you only make 5 field goals, but help you going in a whole quarter without an assist. That's
no assists in the fourth quarter tonight.
That should not happen at all.
This was
a game that was winnable.
Yeah,
a game that probably could have won it.
And Lowry, this is like when we're talking about Lowry's development, like he should be the best player on the floor in the fourth quarter tonight. Yeah. He should have been the guy, and he's not surrounded by perfect pieces either, but it's not quite there for him he's still got a lot of development to do. We saw it, like there was a beautiful baseline jumper. We saw him play one of the few times all year. He started outside the 3-point line on a drive. He almost always starts at 15 feet. But it's not an area where he's particularly comfortable yet late in games being that man. Just give him the ball and go get a shot.
Played 35 minutes, 18 shots. He's been averaging, well, not as of late he hasn't, because he's kind of been playing in and out of the lineup, but he's been averaging about 20, 21 shots a ball game. And for the most part, he's been very efficient, with those shots. Played all 12 minutes there in the fourth quarter, and just got to the free throw line and got 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 8 points, which is respectable. But that's when you would like to see him take over.
It's an interesting moment tonight. About 3 minutes of the game, Taylor gets pulled, which was not a natural substitution pattern. Will was upset about something. And then Taylor comes back and has a pretty monster game, 19 points, 10 assists in this ball game. And they kind of turned the game over to him a little bit there in the fourth quarter as the one who could make the plays. What did you see in this game from him in what was obviously somewhat of a mixed bag?
Well, what I like about Taylor is when he's able to break the defense down and looking to distribute. I mean, sometimes he gets hung up and trying to score every time he goes to the basket and gets himself in trouble and gets the offense out of position. And when he came back into the basketball game, it was like he was making a conscious effort to run the offense. He can always score, and break the defense down, and because he's a creator. But whatever it was that Will took him out of the ball game, he came back in the ball game a different person.
Only 5 rebounds tonight for Walker in 30 minutes is a little less than you'd probably like out of him ideally.
I thought Walker got caught trying to help out, and Jared Allen was able to get off to a good start, scoring around the paint, because he's helping out and he's not getting any help on the backside.
All right, let's turn to Sam Merrill for a second. You've been around this league for a long time. Like, what's that like for a kid? He's last pick of a draft. He's been cut a bunch of times.
Yeah, last pick meaning 60th.
Yeah.
I mean, the last pick just sounds like a last pick, but your pick 60th. It has a little more ring to it, I think.
Yeah, and so he gets cut by Milwaukee. He gets cut by Memphis. He gets cut by Sacramento. Gets a career high the other night, makes some big plays in overtime, and tonight gets a chance and delivers with 8 3-pointers.
And, like we said during the ball game, this league with the 3-point shooting will always have a chance for a shooter. Guys will always have to get a chance to make basketball teams. And he's got another shot at it right now. And I think the fans are going to fall in love with him because he's deadly. I mean, and I wish him good luck.
All right. Who are your stars tonight, Ron Boone?
Well, you got to go with Tucker, the way he came back and make things happen. Probably Lauri Markkanen.
Lowry Markkanen, 26 points, 10 rebounds tonight, 19 points, 10 assists for Talen Horton-Tucker. Those are our 2 stars tonight. Lacey marked that one up on the board. Lacey wanted to give a star to Sam Merrill because she's from Davis County. We're not doing that, Lacey, but it's a nice idea. That is
Lacey, the one that would not let me give the coach a star, and now she wants to give an opponent a star.
Are you questioning?
No, I'm not
the
questioning
ethics of
Lacey. I'm sorry.
Lacey.
That was David's idea. That wasn't mine.
That wraps up Postcast. Talk to you soon.